Have you ever been given a recommendation inside the Meta Ads Manager that is likely to improve performance, but you think to yourself, I'm not too sure about this one? What about a call with a Meta Pro where they are 100% confident that if you run an awareness campaign or a traffic campaign, that suddenly your results are gonna be amazing? Having run Meta Ads now for several years, I've come to realize that, our incentives as advertisers and as business owners is not necessarily always aligned with Meta's intentions. And in today's video, I want to discuss with you some of the subtle things that are going on inside the Meta Ads Manager that you want to look out for. There's a lot of recommendations in there. There's a lot of choices to be made. And my goal with today's video is to show you some examples of where maybe it's not in your best interest to do the recommendation. And that way you can be more informed in the Meta Ads Manager and feel more confident in following your gut. Because a lot of times that truly is the best thing to do when presented with so many different options. So yeah, we're going to talk about that. It's going to be a little bit of an interesting video. We're going to look at several examples in the Meta Ads Manager. So without further ado, let's get into it. So real quick, before we jump into the Ads Manager, I just want to talk about what does Meta care about? What is their goal with the platform, right? There was a recent interview with Mark Zuckerberg that set the DTC e-commerce world, the whole advertising world kind of into a frenzy, right? Because he basically said, oh, our platform, Meta, is not driven by advertising. And he also said that that's part of the company that he spends the least amount of time focusing on. Honestly, we can tell. But anyways, if you haven't seen it, check out this clip.
We're going to have a fine business, right? But our business is not driven by advertising, right? We have we have like an advertising team. It is probably the part of the company that I spend the least time on.
So this made a lot of advertisers really mad. And what's crazy is that if you look at Meta's profit and loss statements, I believe around 98% of their revenue is generated by advertisers. So that makes you ask the question, like, why does he not pay that much attention to that part of the business? Like, it doesn't make sense, right? But if you really think about it, there's no advertisers without users. And so he's trying to not put the cart before the horse, right? He's focused on giving users the best possible experience on the platform. And he knows that if he gets that part right, the advertisers will always be there. So it actually makes a lot of sense to me. And that's why us as advertisers, we need to always keep that in mind when we're making ads, try to keep the user experience in mind, right? Because we're going to be rewarded with lower CPMs, with higher quality traffic when we give a good experience, both on the platform and post-click. So yeah, I just wanted to give you some context, right? Let's jump into the Ads Manager now. I'm going to show you the way certain things are written in the Ads Manager that encourage you to do things that may not always be in your best interest, okay? They do have disclaimers. I have a disclaimer, this is my opinion, but anyways, let's jump into it. Let's look at it. All right, you guys, here we are in the Ads Manager. What I want to do is point out the way that certain things are worded and how they try to kind of get you to do stuff that might not always be the best. So check this out. We're gonna create a sales campaign. This account has the brand new update, and the first one that I wanted to show you guys. Let's turn off this catalog. The first one that I wanted to show you guys. Let's right here. First one, right? You could get a lower cost per action by using Advantage Plus catalog. So I just turned off the catalog, and it's already saying, hey, you can improve your results by using a catalog. Well, this business doesn't even have a catalog. Okay, so obviously that doesn't make sense. But the main one that I wanted to show you guys here in the ad set level is going to be here. So remember, before this new update, there used to be original audience options and then Advantage Plus audience options, right? So those are the two different algorithms. And now with this new update, it's audience with Advantage Plus on. So that's the latest setup. And so they've kind of made it a little harder for us to switch to original audience options. So what do I mean? Well, here's an example of some of the subtle ways that they're writing these things, the way that they're describing these buttons. Look at this. Further limit the reach of your ads. Okay. To me, this is written in such a way that it's like, don't click this button, right? And that's pretty obvious, right? But What from experience, I know that this is original audience options. Original audience options still work very, very well on a lot of accounts. And there's actually some ad accounts where original audience options perform significantly better than Advantage Plus audiences or Advantage shopping campaigns, etc. So to me, this is a little sus, like the way that they've written this. Further limit the reach of your ads. All right, well, let me further limit the reach of my ads. And then here's another example. Limiting your audience may reduce performance. Only switch setups if you need to limit who your ads reach to a specific age range, gender, or custom audience. Potential outcome in the current setup, up to a 7.2% lower cost per result based on our experiment. And then what does this little I say? This result is based on a meta-analysis run between Jan 1st, 2023 to August 1st, 2024. It looked at 236 A/B studies that include advertisers across industries and regions who use lower funnel performance goals, okay, so like purchase or add to cart, initiate checkout. The analysis showed that campaigns that had Advantage Plus on for audience saw a 7.2% lower median cost per result compared to those that did not. This is provided to give you an idea of possible performance, but performance isn't guaranteed. Okay, so they give a disclaimer. Fair. But then if you look at this button, right, when you see a blue dark button, I think psychologically it's like, yeah, click this one. This is the right one to click. And then they put the white button as switch setup. And it's like, don't click this one, right? It's subtle, but to me, this is a little sneaky. Okay, so switch setup. So now we're still not into original audience options. Now we have to limit our audience to some degree. And then here we go. We have to uncheck use as a suggestion. And still, it's still Advantage Plus audience. I actually have to narrow it even further for this to turn off, right? So that's just one little example of kind of sneaky way that they're trying to get you to use the newest algorithm. Like, why do they want us to use the newest algorithm? Is it truly because it always gives us better results? I personally don't think so, because I run ads for tons of businesses all the time, and sometimes Advantage Plus gives worse results, and that's just the truth. And so I personally think that they want us to use it so that they can train their algorithm faster. Ultimately, later down the road, do I believe that this is going to give better performance? Yes. And they need to get mass adoption to train their models to get to that point. Of course, I get it. But give us, don't make it so hard to switch to these things. So that's just one example. Let's talk about another example that's right here in front of us. This new opportunity score thing. Okay. So if you guys have ever run Google Ads, it's kind of similar. But I just don't love the way that they've kind of gamified it. Right? You get points. You think about points, you want more points. And how do we get more points? We turn on all their creative enhancements. We turn on all the AI stuff. And that doesn't always give us the best results. So it may look like it's like really good. Oh, I have a 100% opportunity score. But again, it may not be giving us better results. Also, just the word opportunity score. Opportunity for who? I'm serious. I mean, I'm kind of kidding, but I'm kind of not, right? Who is the opportunity for? Let's see what else. I think inside of advertiser settings is another example. By the way, check your ad accounts. They're automatically enrolling you in AI testing. You didn't consent for it, but here it is. I got to turn this one on. Comment keywords. I come in here and I turn things off constantly. It's very frustrating, but you can see here. This is on by default, guys. So if you don't turn this off, you are actually spending around 5% of your ad spend is going to test new enhancements. And what does that mean? They're going to start doing creative enhancements on your ads, experimental ones. And it says here, this can help us improve our creative enhancements and increase performance for your ads. Turning this off will not affect your Advantage Plus creative preferences. So again, this can help us. Why am I paying Meta to train their algorithm? Okay, I'm already giving you guys enough money. So please save this for others. I don't want this on. Okay. So that's another example of where, is this really in our best interest? Another thing, let's talk about account overview. All right, here we go. Opportunity score is right there, but then you also have these automatic adjustments. Okay, guys, if you don't have this turned off, you're going to see some wacky stuff inside your ads manager. So basically, these settings, they will automatically reduce auction overlap. They'll reduce audience fragmentation, meaning they're going to turn off ad sets. They're going to combine ad sets. And from experience, I've heard of people that having this on has actually like turned off some of their top performing ads. And it's like, it's pretty crazy. So my main point here, guys, is I want you to start reading these little icons here. You see this? This explains a lot of things, and you can kind of read between the lines. Oh, I just thought of another one that's pretty sneaky, so let me show you. Let's say we go to the ad level. Let me just put a URL in here real quick. I'm going to set up a creative. So here's a good example of where you should look at the eye. So site links. Obviously, we don't want site links on, guys. Why? Because it's putting all these little links below your ad. It could be sending traffic to your about page, to your terms and conditions, whatever, privacy policy. So why would I be paying Meta to do this? And then if you actually look at the eye and see how it was determined, you can see here how it's calculated. This result is based on a global experiment that includes 900 campaigns with 90% of the spend using site links across verticals, measuring ads with the traffic objective that ran between August 20th, 2024, blah, blah, blah. So why? Why would I turn this on if I'm using a sales objective, right? Okay, you did an experiment with traffic campaigns. Great. Why are you forcing me to turn this on? Why do I have to manually turn this off? Here's another thing, right? So I found out the way to turn this off. You have to do this, right? But before, this red didn't used to appear. You see this? This is another sneaky thing that Meta's doing. This red thing here implies that you cannot proceed to the next step unless you put a URL here. That's sneaky, okay? Because this didn't used to happen. This got added. And you can switch, okay? You can proceed to the next step without putting that. And that's actually the way that you turn this stuff off. So make sure site links are off. Again, they're trying to turn on catalog automatically, turning that off. Whoops, sorry about the zoom in and zoom out thing here. All right, so now next, let's talk about these creative enhancements. So you can see here, other active enhancements. They're trying to be sneaky once again, and they're hiding these enhancements. And oh wow, there's 4 of them down here, and we have to come in and turn them off manually. Again, I don't think all of these are bad, but I think most of them are bad, to be honest. Read this little eye icon and see, use common sense, be smart. Personally, I try to turn most of these off. If you're a serious advertiser, which if you're watching this video, you probably are, you probably spent a lot of time on your creative, on your copy, on your setup. So are you gonna now hand it over to Meta and let them chop it up and add text and overlays and music and all this stuff that's not on brand? I don't think so. But again, they're hiding these things from us, and that's not cool. So turn those things off. I mean, we can get into the learning phase, right? The learning phase is like, oh, until you reach 50 conversion events, your campaign's not optimized. But what I've found in practice is that there's really no real difference between a campaign that has exited the learning phase and one that's still in learning or even learning limited. Again, I think this is another way to gamify it, to encourage you to spend more on the platform. So be very careful with this, guys. Last thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the Meta Pros. Meta Pros, a lot of them, I won't say all of them. Some of them are, look, these are people with jobs. They're entry-level jobs. They're good people generally, but they are a little reckless with the recommendations that they give people and the conviction that they give it, right? So they say with certainty, oh, you must do an awareness campaign, or you must do to a traffic campaign and it's going to change everything. Or, oh, you must take these opportunity score recommendations. It's going to improve your results. But time and time again, I have talked to business owners that against their own best interest, they accepted these changes. They said, okay, let me try what this Meta Pro is saying in such a confident way. And it completely tanks not only their ad account, but their business. It puts them in a hole. And they tell them, oh no, just wait, it's going to get better. And it doesn't. So that's a huge problem. The thing about these guys is it's an entry-level job. Most of them have never actually run ads themselves inside the Meta Ads Manager. They simply have taken a training course. Maybe they can look inside the ad accounts, but they're not in it all day, every day like we are. So they don't actually experience the consequences of their recommendations. And so what I've learned, and I've seen some Reddit threads where Meta Pros actually talk about their experience, and they are measured on how many calls they take and seemingly how much they can get their clients to spend on the platform. So take that information, do with it as you will, but just be very careful, guys. Like, I avoid them like the plague personally. I'm not going to say they're all bad. Some of them have actually helped me get some support tickets raised. But the vast majority of them are very inexperienced, and they will tell you things with such confidence, almost like an AI. You know how some AI sometimes they just tell you, like ChatGPT will tell you something with like 100% certainty. This is the way it is, and then it's completely wrong. Yeah, same thing here. So why do I bring up all this stuff? I bring it up so that you can be more informed in the Ads Manager, so that you can be more confident that, you know, if something feels off, if something feels wrong, follow your gut. Your instincts in this case are usually going to be right, especially if something is working. Okay, remember the golden rule of Meta Ads is if something is working, leave it alone. Don't touch it. Let it train your ad account. 9 times out of 10, when you touch something that's working, you throw it off and it kind of it gets ruined. Anyways, guys, I hope this was helpful. Hope this was illuminating. This is the environment that we're working in. It's always changing, so I'm always updating my community members in Meta Ads Mastery about this stuff so that they're more informed and they can make better decisions in the Ads Manager. So yeah, that's all I had for you guys today. I lied. There's one more that I want to show you, and this one to me is the sneakiest of them all. So I'm inside my my Skool community, Meta Ads Mastery. If you're interested in checking it out, go to the description and there's a link there. But you can see here, where is the post? Sneaky new message from Meta. Be careful. So what does this message say? Okay, this message came when I tried to turn off a campaign. Okay, and normally when you turn off a campaign, you know, that's it. You're no longer spending whatever that daily budget or lifetime budget was. But in this case, take a look at this. You still have $200 of the unspent budget from the campaign you just turned off. You can choose to apply this entire amount to a single currently running campaign or ad set, or distribute the amount in the next step. Okay, so what does that mean? Basically, what they're trying to do is keep your daily ad spend going despite you turning off a campaign. They want you to liberate that budget, or basically give that $200 a day that I was trying to close here to another campaign. What would that do? Well, that would scale another campaign. And what could that do? That could throw off my results. So this is super sneaky, and you can see that it says apply, distribute budget. So if I click apply, it was gonna give an extra $200 a day to my retargeting campaign, which I don't want that. Okay, that's too high of a retargeting budget. I'm looking for new prospective customers. Okay, if I click distribute budget, who knows what that would do? Would that divide it evenly to other campaigns? I don't know. But again, apply is blue. It's like, yeah, you should do this. Distribute budget is white, so maybe it's not encouraging that one that much. Maybe because they know it's gonna throw things off. And then you have don't show this again. But to me, this one is, if you are inexperienced and you don't know what you're doing in here, they're just taking your money. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It's so, you have to read everything in the Ads Manager, guys. Be very careful, okay? That's all I had to show you. All right, you guys, that's all I had for you today. I hope that kind of opened your mind a little bit. It kind of makes you more aware of what's going on inside the Ads Manager, and it gives you the confidence to make better decisions, okay? That's really all I wanted for you in this video. If you want to stay on top of all these changes, or have somebody kind of put these changes in front of you on a consistent basis, I highly recommend that you check out my Skool community. It's called Meta Ads Mastery, and it's a place where you get direct access access to me in terms of support. You can ask me questions all the time. We also do a weekly call where we review all the latest changes, and it's a network. It's a really awesome community of serious advertisers, people that are spending quite a bit on the platform every day. So if that's something that interests you, I highly recommend that you check it out. The price is actually going up from $99 to $500 in the beginning of May 2025. So if you're watching this and you're interested, I highly recommend that you take advantage before the price goes up. So anyways, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Take care.